do you think it's okay for homosexual people to be told in the workplace that they can either get rid of their significant other or lose their job?
I think you're treading on bad territory there if you do that.
I'm asking, do you think that's okay?
No.
Well, in this story you reported, you better delete that because you're condoning it, because everything Chief Shope has told you was a bunch of trash.
Okay.
Chief Shope was not hired for a reason. And if he's going to spout off of his mouth like he did, that's just wrong what he's doing, considering knowing his actions that he's done. Because he's lucky if he don't cause the city to be sued. Because once you call and ask him if he got a phone call from a significant other chewing his butt out a couple weeks ago, and once you ask him yesterday why he truly resigned when he found out people knew of his actions.
Okay. Now this is all new information to me.
Well, I handed to about Tony Perry yesterday, so I don't know if he's reported on anything. But
well, you know,
if you support Chief Shope, then you're supporting him and condoning his actions. And I know that article started all the blame off on me and Steve, but we have a job to do, and that's protect the city of Crossville. So, and Steve Hill was doing his job because this has been reported to him, and it got confirmed to him by another officer that said they heard Chief Shope tell this person the stuff he told them. And it's a very serious thing, and if I was you, you're better, because Chief Shope keeps telling me this stuff, and I'm going to contact these agencies, and this ain't going to be tolerated after what just happened in Orlando.
Right.
The world's going to come down on that man if he don't hush his mouth. And you know me, I ain't just talking here. I ain't going to lie to people. I've never asked that man to arrest anybody. I did ask him to check Blankenship's insurance card because he don't have insurance on his car. He's putting everybody at risk by driving a vehicle that he don't have insurance on. That's the only thing I've ever asked him to do. I asked him to file a police report on Pete Souza vigorously elbowing me in the back after the February meeting, which he never filed. That's why Chief Shope don't like me. He's protecting Pete, and nobody sees it.
What about
this officer situation? It showed Chief Shope's true colors.
Okay.
So, if you want to hold anything on me that I'm guilty of, that's fine. Don't report stuff on that's propaganda. I ain't there without calling me and asking my opinion. That's just wrong.
Well, see, I didn't even know this had happened till late last evening, and because I didn't get word of it. Somebody actually sent me a private message on Facebook and said, you know, there's a story out today, and my question back was, what story? Because I didn't know that he'd even resigned until about 8 o'clock last night. And by the time I had a brief conversation with Rod, it was so late in the evening, I decided it was too late to even call Steve. It was 9 o'clock by that time. You know, I had planned to call Steve Hill because, you know, he was involved in that to some extent. And I'm actually parked in front of City Hall right now, fixing to head up to talk to Steve for a second and get his side of the story. But I only had one side of the story.
There's a lot he can't say.
Right.
He confirmed what I reported to him about a month ago, and it should have already been handled, honestly, because the city's in some trouble if this officer chooses to get us.
Right.
And Shope ain't done us any favors.
Right. Tell me, one thing that Shope did mention to me was a situation that you had asked him to do something with Donald Andrews.
Huh?
He said you had asked him to set up a meeting with Donald Andrews between you and him.
Oh.
Okay. I'm just trying to,
Steve, you can't see. He shouldn't even be talking about that because that's dealing with a minor child that was abused in the school system. You can't even report on that, really. I mean,
well, all he told me was you had asked for a meeting, between yourself and Shope and Donald Andrews. He didn't give me any details of anything, so I have no idea what it was about. He just told me that that you had asked for that meeting to be set up, and he said he couldn't get one set up. Donald Andrews wouldn't meet with you and him. So.
And how's that negative 20 million Chief Shope? Actually, I went to the city manager, and the city manager told him to do that. I didn't tell him to do nothing.
Okay.
So I asked the city manager.
And that's the reason I asked the question. Right. That's the reason I asked.
Tim, I don't tell employees to do stuff. I ask the city manager what I can and can't do, and that's how it works.
Right.
I don't tell any employees in order them to do anything.
Right.
Because if you step outside of that charter, you hold yourself personal liability. They can sue me for doing that, and I know that. None of that stuff on city council is worth me losing stuff that I work hard for every day.
Right.
So there's none of that stuff that important to me.
Right.